must accept responsibility for what they have done. If people become dodgy, people hide behind Lego barricades and get lawyers and do all sorts of things, send representations, it frustrates, in my opinion, the very process of reconciliation. Because if people have not accepted responsibility, how do you forgive? So that would be my opinion. My opinion then, if I may expand, is that those who have committed these atrocities should have the human and social conscience to accept responsibility for what has been done. That itself will be part and parcel, in fact, a strategic part of the healing process itself. If they accept responsibility, the government has a constitutional responsibility as well to grant amnesty. And the community may our Rivers community may be healed. Because now there is acknowledgement of guilt and there is a recompense for it. But now if people are alleging that they are victims of atrocities committed by people, and those that they have named who committed these atrocities are rather dodgy, taking expert lawyers, hiding behind Lego fences, how in all responsibility, how can the process of healing take place? That is why my community is relieved by the announcement of the chairman of the commission that Ateketom has committed himself to testifying before the commission. And I would suggest to Ateketom and those he may have worked with, not only to come here or meet members of the commission and testify, they must take responsibility for what they have done. Only then can the government, only then can the state, and only then can the victims start a process of genuine forgiveness.
Now, in view of what you have just said now, would you please turn to page 6 of your memorandum?
Yes.
I think we'll call it the second paragraph, the one that started with "in particular."
Yes. In particular, we believe that by allegedly arming and working with criminal gangs in pursuit of his political goals and ambition, Dr. Peter Odili is liable for the thousands of deaths that have resulted from the activities of these gangs, including that of Ateketom and his vigilantes group. We therefore consider Dr. Odili to be a material breach of Article 3 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights and Article 4 of the African Charter of Human and People's Rights, to which Nigeria is a signatory. On the basis of his findings, the Human Rights Watch has recently called on the federal government to arrest and prosecute Dr. Peter Odili. We join this call and demand his immediate prosecution.
Now, should Dr. Peter Odili come out openly and sincerely to admit his shortcomings during his tenure, would you still insist on this recommendation for prosecution?
Unfortunately, I will insist on behalf of my community for the arrest and prosecution of Dr. Peter Odili, because, as I said earlier, it is important that we do not allow a culture of impunity to be established in our polity. If criminals are brought to book, the law itself becomes meaningful, and it serves as a deterrence for people who may come sometimes generations after us. So while the process of reconciliation for which this commission has been constituted is important, it is also important that we know that the community must be ruled not by the whims and caprices and the violent ambitions of men, that the community must be ruled and be governed by the law. And the law is meaningful, in my opinion, only if it becomes applicable anytime people run foul of it. So my opinion is that whatever confessional statements that may follow Dr. Peter Odili's testimony before this commission, once investigations are conducted and proven in a manner that implicates Dr. Peter Odili, for the sake of not establishing a culture of impunity, Dr. Peter Odili and some of his cohorts may need to be reconciled to the principles of justice.
What about Dr. Abiye Sekibo?
Dr. Abiye Sekibo my attitude to Dr. Abiye Sekibo's alleged association with some of these criminal gangs will follow exactly the same pattern. Dr. Abiye Sekibo has made several strong denials But again, there are so many reports, including some that we are not even attached here. The Amnesty International, which is very well known and respected worldwide, has a comprehensive report that details the involvement or the alleged involvement of Dr. Abiye Sekibo. It is not enough, my lord.
What do you say? Which report has that?
The Amnesty International report. That report is not attached here, but reference can easily be made to their website. And for follow-up documentation, further documentation and testimonies concerning Dr. Abiye Sekibo's involvement, I refer the commission.
Do you have the caption of the report?
Not right here, my lord.
Very well.
Yes.
You can send it to us if you have it.
Yes, I'll happily do so. The human rights report also has a separate report that details the involvement of Dr. Abiye Sekibo as far as the crisis in Okrika is concerned. So if Abiye Sekibo, for instance, testifies and says that he admits responsibility and that he's remorseful, for the sake, again, that impunity should not be allowed to be established, I will leave it up to the state to take appropriate measures against him. It may continue it may make him benefit from the window of amnesty that has been opened by virtue of the setting up of this commission. Alternatively, the justice may have to take its course in order that we establish a community that is governed by laws.
My Lord, Mr. Chairman, that will be all for this witness.
On behalf of the Commission, I thank you very much indeed for your evidence and also for your suggestions as to what the Commission should do. You talked about the South African experience. Could you share the source of your knowledge with us, please?
My Lord, my knowledge of the proceedings and the practices of the South African Truth Commission is hardly authoritative and exhaustive. It's hardly authoritative and exhaustive. I follow the processes. I had, done some work on conflict, both here in the Niger Delta and elsewhere in the country. I have followed the process of racial integration in South Africa over the past 5 years or so that I was resident there as a postdoctoral researcher in South African universities. And so my interest has been mainly humanistic and intellectual. But I will suggest that if any kind of documentation that will aid the commission to fashion out its own work and to reach its own conclusions, I'll be happy to provide data and information concerning the workings of the commission in South Africa.
We'll be delighted to have this from you. Could we have cross-examination by counsel, if any?
Yes, my Lord. With due respect, Mr. Chairman and honorable members of the Commission, my name is Emma Oka. With me are Mr. A.A. Norum and Mr. A. Adedikwe. Together with God, we are holding the brief of Mr. Adedikwe, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, who is representing Dr. Peter Odili. On that note, we will cross-examine the witness, my Lord. Mr. George, what is your relationship with Chief Rufus Ada George?
Chief Rufus Ada George and I are from the same community. We hail from the same community of Georgiama, the community under discussion here.
We want to hear you, please.
Chief Rufus Ada George and I are members of the same community, Georgiama community, which I represent here at the commission.
Will it be correct to say that for a very, very long time, you have enjoyed very smooth, cordial relationship with Chief Rufus Ada George?
My relationship with Chief Rufus Ada George has been no smoother than my relationship with any other member of the community at large.
If you have a smooth relationship with Chief Rufus Ada George, will it be proper as a witness to testify against him in a case like this?
As I said, my relationship with Ada George is not extraordinary. It's like any other ordinary relationship that I have and will continue to have with not just members of my community, but with people I meet all around the world. I do not have any kind of special relationship with Ada George. And if need be, in the course of the work of this commission, I need to make any statement concerning Ada George as a person or as a public personality, I would gladly say so for the purposes of this commission.
Thank you very much. Have you met Dr. Peter Odili one-on-one before?
Never in my life.
How about Comrade Ateketon?
I have never met him.
Have you at any time spoken with Dr. Peter Odili on phone?
No, I do not even have his contact details.
How about Ateketon?
Never have I ever contacted him.
In other words, all your conclusions about Dr. Peter Odili using Ateketon and others to cause problem in your community are based on the things which you heard from other sources other than from Ateketon and Dr. Peter Odili?
Yes, in addition to other sources, I also derive my conclusions, my knowledge of about the character of these individuals based on the experience of my own community itself. May I add, Council, that of the 13, and I do not intend to make this personal, but of the 13 houses that were burnt, my own father's house was also burnt. Now, I want to underline the fact that my father died in 1970 and could not have had any business at all to do with the ruling PDP. You see? So this has nothing at all to do with my personal relationship with Ateketon.
We're not talking about your personal relationship. I'm saying Dr. Peter Odili,
Yes.
Ateketon,
Yes.
never got in touch with you.
Yes.
They never spoke to you. You never met them before.
Yes.
So everything which you have said here today regarding Dr. Peter Odili's involvement in using both Ateketon and Dr. Abiye Sekibo in causing problem in your community are based on things which you got other than directly from Dr. Peter Odili or Ateketon. Yes or no?
They are based on the material experience of my own people on reliable sources, yes.
Thank you very much. Are you a patriotic Nigerian?
I would want to think that I am a patriotic Nigerian, however it is defined, however patriotism is defined.
Do you love Nigeria? Simple question.
Yes, I love Nigeria with a critical intelligence.
And you also, in that capacity, be expected to do things or refrain from doing things. Rather, you will also, in that capacity, be expected to aid the Federal Republic of Nigeria in crime control and prevention.
Yes, I will gladly do so, in my capacity as a citizen of this country.
Very good. Now, when all these atrocities which you have testified here to today took place, did you, or indeed Chief Rufus Ada George, or your community petition either the River State House of Assembly at that time, or the National Assembly, or the SSS, or indeed the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria when these events took place?